In the rolling hills and crowded bazaars of Bakribad, animals of all kinds lived under the firm, elegant paw of the wolves, rulers for generations. Wolves were sleek, smart, and always well-dressed in waistcoats stitched from stolen wool. They ruled not with teeth but with tactics, whispering lies into newspapers, declaring taxes on fresh grass, and holding open dialogues with microphones that never worked. At the top sat Badr-e-Azam, the aging but shrewd wolf king, whose eyes sparkled like gold coins and whose speeches were always followed by mysterious disappearances. But change was in the air. Whispers of rebellion rustled like dry leaves. So, to appear modern and transparent, Badr-e-Azam declared a national election. "Let the animals choose their next king," he proclaimed. "Democracy at last," cried the parrots on national TV. "Don't fall for it," muttered the donkeys in the coal mines. But behind the scenes, the king's advisor, a sharp-tongued fox named Miss Finto, hatched a plan. "We'll give them an election," she purred, "but we'll choose the winner." In a dusty village on the edge of Bakribad lived Babloo, a goofy, wide-eyed goat who delivered milk door to door and sang jingles like, "Fresh milk for strong horns, delivered with a smile, Babloo the Bakra, walking the extra mile." He wasn't smart, he wasn't brave, but he was kind, danced like a disaster, and once gave away his shoes to a porcupine with cold feet. Miss Finto spotted him and laughed. "Perfect," she told the king, "a talking vegetable with hooves." They declared Babloo the people's candidate, sponsored by Grassco Milk and Chingari News, and set up a campaign that was supposed to fail hilariously. Instead, it exploded. Babloo's campaign launched with a video of him slipping on a banana peel and landing in a dignified pose, by accident. Millions watched, memes spread, kids sang his jingle in every alley. "He's one of us," cheered the cows. "He smells like work," said the mules. "At least he's not a wolf," hissed the snakes. He danced at rallies. He promised to lower grass taxes. He mispronounced constitution as cornstitution. The parrots called it authentic. The monkeys ran his clips on loop. On election day, Babloo won in a landslide. The coronation was grand. Trumpets played, confetti rained down. Babloo stood on the royal balcony in a golden robe 2 sizes too big, and then he entered his office. He found it filled with wolves. "We've prepared your first speech," said Miss Finto, handing him a script. "Do I get to write my own?" Babloo asked. "Only your signature," she smiled. "His ministers, all wolves. His guards, wolves. His chefs, wolves who eyed him hungrily when they thought he wasn't looking. The media, controlled by Miss Finto's cousin, Faker Fox, whose headlines read, 'Goat praises wolf policies,' says, 'It's an honor to be led.'" When Babloo tried to visit the coal mine donkeys, the path was under construction. When he asked about missing sheep, Miss Finto told him, best not to wander into conspiracy. One night, Babloo snuck out. He took off the robe and returned to his village in secret. What he saw broke his heart. Dry wells, empty barns, angry animals with tired eyes and no hope left. "You promised to help us," said a hedgehog with a cracked shell, "but you just dance and wave." "I didn't know," Babloo whispered. "Then maybe you shouldn't be king," someone replied. The next morning, Babloo returned, not to the throne, but to the mirror. He tied a ribbon around his horns. He stood tall. "I may be a goat," he said to himself, "but I've got guts." At the next royal broadcast, instead of reading Miss Finto's speech, Babloo tore it in half. "My fellow animals," he said, "you didn't vote for a puppet, you voted for a voice." He exposed the lies. He named names. He revealed how food was hoarded, how votes were bought, how even the weather reports were faked. Miss Finto tried to cut the feed, but Babloo had already called in the crows, sky cameras, who streamed it live across Bakribad. The animals rose. The donkeys marched. The moles dug under the palace. The bees stung the royal guard. Wolves fled. Miss Finto vanished into the tall grass. Babloo didn't keep the crown. He melted it into a school bell. He turned the palace into a public barn. He passed the first real cornstitution, written by a porcupine, edited by a rabbit, and signed by everyone, even the frogs. The government was now a council of creatures, one from every species. As for Babloo, he went back to delivering milk. But now, when he walked the streets, animals didn't just see a goat, they saw a legend. Moral, even the smallest hoof can kick open a locked door. Even a goat can be king if he refuses to be controlled. And sometimes, a little honesty is the sharpest horn of all.